Before I get started, I'd like to ask you a favor, and it's a very easy favor to you, but it would make a great deal of difference for me. And the favor is as follows. I'd ask you to please share my video, this video or any of the other videos on my channel, to at least 2 other people that you know. Not 1, 2. At least 2. And send them a link to the video, whatever that video might be, this one or some other video that you might have liked. And please get them to watch my videos. Now, why am I asking you this? Well, as you no doubt know, my channel has been demonetized. I'm not making any revenue off of this channel or the content that I make here. I don't have any sponsorship. It's a long-standing policy of mine to not have any sponsorship or not be shilling for any product. And so I'm not making any money from the content of this channel. Now, because of this, YouTube is deprioritizing my videos. People aren't seeing it. And this is, you know, I see it by the metrics. And more importantly, I don't get new subscribers, see? And the lifeblood of any channel is getting new subscribers. And so because YouTube has effectively shadow banned me, basically because of the kind of content that I produce, well, you know, I'm not getting to any more viewers. YouTube, like I said, long ago demonetized me, and so my channel is slowly dying off. And so I need your help to revive it. It would mean a great deal to me if you could do this, and I'll tell you my ambition, and it's a stupid ambition, but, you know, it's my ambition. There you go. I want to hit 1 million subscribers, just for the ego trip, just to have the little plaque. Just to give a big fuck you very much to YouTube for shadow banning my channel, which started in August of 2019, and then demonetizing it in December of 2019, and then outright during 2020, just really putting the screws on it. I mean, now, I can see every video that I put out, fewer people are watching it because YouTube is showing it to fewer people. It's not because the quality of my content. It's because YouTube doesn't like what I have to say. So I need your help. Please help me out on this. 2 people that you might happen to know who might enjoy my videos. It would mean the world to me. So thank you so much, and here's the video. You know where the expression cougar comes from? It comes from New York. In fact, it originated when I was living in New York in the late 90s. Cougars were called that by bartenders in New York bars, say in New York pickup bars, right? Because like during the night, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, early on in the night, the young women, the hot young women, and the attractive young guys, they hook up early and they'd leave early. Right? But by the end of the night, by closing time, you know, 2 a.m. or whenever the fuck, who's left? Huh? The not so attractive guys and the older women, right? And the bartenders started calling the older women cougars, right? Because they drink a lot, right? And yeah, they called them that because the cougars were picking off the weak. That's where the expression comes from. Yeah, we're seeing a lot more cougars, aren't we? We're seeing a lot more older women with younger guys. We're seeing a lot more of that. And you have to understand where this fashion, if you will, this trend, whatever you want to call it, you have to understand where it's coming from. You have to understand the need that is being fulfilled by either one of the 2 sexes. Because women are getting something out of being with a younger guy, and the younger guys are getting something for being with the older women. And if you understand the dynamic that's going on, the motivation of both sides, then you'll have some insights about the whole situation. And yeah, so let me get started. Now, younger guys have always been attracted to older women since forever, okay? And it's very normal for a young boy, you know, 8 years old, 6 years old, or whatever, to fall in love with like the babysitter, for instance, or some aunt or something like that. It's very normal. You know, it's sort of like I think personally, I don't have any evidence for this, but this is my suspicion, that it's sort of like the brain, you know, gearing up and figuring out how it is to fall in love with somebody that's more quote unquote age appropriate. Okay. Now I know this because, you know, I have a son of my own and he's 6 years old, and I remember when he was born, newborn, I'm talking, you know, maybe a couple of weeks. Okay. No less, maybe a week, okay? All of a sudden he got an erection. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? He has an erection. His mother freaked out too. You know, what the fuck? The kid is a newborn and he's got a hard on. What the fuck? You know, what pervert do we have? And the doctor just laughed his ass off and said, no, it's perfectly normal. You know, it's sort of like the body making sure that all the equipment functions properly. And periodically the kid had an erection, you know. He couldn't do anything with the erection. It's a fucking baby, right? It's fucking funny, right? I think by the same token of like testing out that all the equipment is working properly, that young boys fall in love with the babysitter or some aunt or some older cousin, shit like that. They develop a huge crush, and I think it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly harmless, right? But when a guy is already into his early 20s, late teens and early 20s, and he finds himself attracted to an older woman, then that's something else. Then I think that that's basically a function of immaturity and a desire to be a boy forever. Yeah, because when a guy is in his early 20s, say 25 for the sake of argument, and he is attracted to some 40-year-old woman, 45, 50-year-old woman, okay, which happens a lot. Well, what's going on there? I mean, quite obviously, the guy is looking for some sort of mother substitute. And what kind of love does a mother give? Unconditional. That's a key issue, see? Unconditional, undemanding. You're involved with a woman who's your age. You're 25, say, and you're involved with a girl who's 25 or 24, 27, but, you know, roughly close to your age, right? She's going to be very demanding. She's going to want things from you. She's going to want a commitment. She's going to want you to have a good job. She's going to want all kinds of stuff. But an older woman is not going to want that, especially a woman who is way past the childbearing age. And that's what I'm really referring to in this, so far as this video is concerned. These women who are beyond the childbearing age, right? They're not going to demand anything from the young guy. Of course not. Because they're probably going to have their own successful career or successful enough, earning enough money. So they don't need the guy to provide any revenue, right? She can't have any kids, okay? She's not going to need any kind of commitment from him. So from the guy's point of view, the young guy's point of view, being with an older woman is just, you know, it's having a good time with no responsibilities. It's being a boy again. And see, of course, if a young guy who's 25 has a relationship with a woman like that, an older woman, and they continue in that regime, they continue where basically she doesn't make any demands because she never will, because she doesn't have any needs that he cannot fulfill except the sexual perhaps, and that of companionship, right? Well, you know, the guy is never going to mature. The guy is always going to be a boy. He's always going to be a boy without any kind of responsibilities, without the weight of responsibilities. He'll be like this Peter Pan figure. And if you don't believe me, look at Emmanuel Macron, the French president. He's married to an older woman. In fact, she was, as I understand it, his high school teacher. And he had an affair with her when he was like a teenager, like 17, 18, some shit like that. And he went up and married her. Look at him today. The guy is a 40-something-year-old man. And he's, you know, like a fucking Peter Pan figure. And of course, this woman was too old to have a kid with him. She is substantially and noticeably older than him. And he is like this Peter Pan boy. He's a 40-something-year-old man who looks and acts like a boy. And that's what a lot of these guys want. They want an older woman so they can forever be a boy. So they can be Peter Pan. Now, what about the women? What do they want? You can ask an older woman yourself, but more likely than not, the older woman will not just merely want the sex, okay? Sex with a younger guy, the younger guy by definition is going to be a lot more energetic. He's going to fuck her a lot better than an older guy. Yeah, an older guy is going to just be too old to bother her, you know? Especially if she's an older woman, the older guy is not going to make that much of a fucking effort. Whereas the young guy is certainly going to be energetic. He'll be able to fuck her at least a couple of times a night, right? And he's going to be all kinds of romantic because an older guy, you know, he's been around the block enough that he knows that romance is just a crock. So he's not going to be all romantic and fluffy and shit. Whereas the young guy will. He'll write her poems and make her feel young, make her feel good, make her feel desired and romantic and just cozy. Okay? That's what she's going to get from the younger guy, quite apart from the sex. And also, a key issue that should never be underestimated. See, an older woman will be able to control the younger guy, control him very easily, and not merely by way of sex. See? An older woman will have no trouble at all undermining his self-confidence without him even realizing it, and making him feel that she is the only woman that he'll ever get. Because that's something that a lot of younger women don't understand about their relationship with a guy. A lot of times, a younger girl with a guy does not understand that the guy thinks that she, the girlfriend or wife or perhaps, is the best he'll ever get. That's what he thinks. It's not objectively true, but that's what he thinks. And so a younger woman won't understand why a guy is so, you know, brokenhearted and just totally destroyed when they break up, right? But see, an older woman will understand this dynamic and she'll take advantage of it. And she'll subtly manipulate the guy into thinking that if he ever leaves her, there is no woman on earth who will love him. And he'll believe her. Now, I'm not saying that older women are evil, okay? No, of course not. The older woman is worried that she won't find anybody better. That's why she'll do this mind fuck on the poor guy. Not because she's a bad person or evil intrinsically, you know, she's not like the female version of Hitler or some shit like that. No, she just doesn't want to be alone. And she's going to be what, 45, 50 perhaps, and she's with this 25-year-old stud, right? Because as far as she's concerned, he's a fucking stud, yeah? Because he's a young guy and who fucks her relentlessly and makes her happy with poems and cookies and shit. And so she's not going to want to lose him. And she'll also realize, of course, that if she does lose him, you know, who's she going to get after him? Probably nobody, because she'll be older, i.e. less attractive. So she's going to try to hold on to this young guy as hard as she can. And part of that will inevitably be, you know, mind-fucking him. Yeah, making him believe things that are objectively not true. Making him believe things so that he will stay with her no matter what. All kinds of dynamics are working on there, okay? All kinds of dynamics, and it's a shit show, if you think about it. I actually once fucked an older woman, yeah. In Club Med, I went there in '97. I was, I was 97, I was 29, and I went there and I fucked this woman who was 51. She was a good-looking woman, too, you know? And I did it strictly for the bucket list, you know? Strictly just sport fucking kind of thing, you know? Yeah, come on, I mean, fucking Cancun at Club Med there? What the fuck you think is going on there? It's just fucking around just for kicks, right? Yeah. And what was interesting, I recall distinctly about that dynamic is that, you know, as soon as we'd fucked, I mean, we spent a few days together, you know, we went to Chichen Itza and shit like that, you know, we had a great time, right? But she was trying to get her claws into me early on. Oh yeah. I mean, I could feel it. And I didn't mind, I didn't make it a to-do about it because, if I recall correctly, yes, she lived in New York City and I was living in LA at the time. So by virtue of distance, you know, our relationship would end rather quickly. And of course, I had no intention of seeing her after Cancun. Fuck no, you know, because she's an old woman, yeah? But even then, I could understand the attraction of an older woman who made me feel fantastic. Yeah, because that's what they do to a young guy. A young guy, any guy under 35, say. Because to a woman who's 45, any guy who's 35 or under is a young guy, okay? 45 and up, 35 below. That's how it is. And she is going to make you feel fantastic. I mean, it's very similar to the whole dynamic of the single mother that I talked about before, that the single mother will do all kinds of stuff for you in order to hold on to you, right? But I said, insofar as single mothers are concerned, that once you put the ring on her, once it's official, then her true persona emerges, right? Well, with the older woman, that doesn't happen, see? Because you can marry the older woman, but see, the older woman doesn't want resources from you. The older woman wants your youth. The older woman wants your attention, see? And the older you get, even though you're young, even though you're under 35, but as you get older, you're going to be more attractive in general. And she is going to be less attractive. But she will get the huge ego boost that she, an older woman who's less attractive, has you by her side, see? So she'll always have the incentive to do whatever you want. Relationships between young guys and older women, they last a long goddamn time because the older woman makes sure to keep him around. Okay, or let me phrase that. It's not that she has to work to keep him around. She has to work to make sure that he doesn't leave her. That's the dynamic. Now, bottom line, do I recommend you get involved with an older woman? For shits and giggles, you know, to try it out? Sure, absolutely, you know? I mean, always say yes to new relationships. Always say yes to meeting new people and getting involved with new people. Always say yes to that, but on a superficial level. Long term, fuck no. There's no future, see? With an older woman, you will never have a future because you will never have children. I mean, it's simple as that. It's the bottom line. Yeah, you will never have children with an older woman, and therefore it will be a waste of your time. And you will want to have a family of your own. In fact, you will need it. It will be a big thing for you. As I've said before in other videos, once you have a family, once you have children of your own, your motivation, the direction of your life, everything about your life changes radically. And you want to make sure to provide for your children. And because of it, you will be much more driven in your work, you will be much more focused, and you will be much more successful. It's inevitable, okay? But with an older woman, you will never have that incentive. You will never have the incentive to be the best man that you can be. And so you will sink to mediocrity. I mentioned Emmanuel Macron, right? The premier of France, or the president of France. Yeah, the guy's a mediocrity, okay? He is never and never will reach the heights that he could achieve. And you could say that, well, he's the president of France, yeah, but no, and older guys especially know this, what I'm talking about. The guy is just a fucking marshmallow. And all guys who hook up with older women, they all become marshmallows. They all become just pathetic. Do you want that? Do you want to be that man? I mean, it'll be comfortable. It'll be incredibly comfortable for you because she'll take care of you. Because, fuck it, she knows she'll never get anybody better. So she will treat you like a king every day. And she'll treat you just so good. But it's kind of like, how can I put it? It's like a golden prison. Do you want that? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please check out my Patreon channel. Link is in the description below. I put out an extra video every Wednesday, and I also do a Sunday call-in show called the Weekly Webinar, which lasts 2 to 3 hours, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. So please check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.